In August, either in your personal life or in the collective, there is the potential for something to come up that will test you and test if you truly trust your own intuition, because your intuition will be screaming at you the exact opposite of what you are meant to do, following the mainstream or following what is being said. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Rooted in the Cosmos, your podcast for all things spiritual leadership, higher consciousness, and New Earth vision. My name is Isabelle Gloria. I'm your host, and I'm welcoming you to this brand new episode. It's so nice that you're here, and it's so nice that you're listening back in. Or if you're here for the very first time, make sure to subscribe on YouTube. Or if you're just listening and not watching the video, make sure to subscribe to the podcast. Like every month, I want to do a monthly energy update. And the way I do my readings is that I use oracle cards, but I don't use them in the classical way. I don't look up the meaning in the little booklet. I just use them as tools. So this energy update is entirely channeled. The cards just help me get to the channeled messages. Because this is a collective reading, not every single message may resonate with you in the same way. But if you stumble across this, or if you're listening to this, energy doesn't lie. So there will be at least one message for you and one message that you can translate in a way that makes sense to you. I always tap into the energy of the spiritual leaders, of the New Earth visionaries, of the people in my field and who resonate with me. So whether you know me and you're already watching my content, or you are new here, be sure that there is a message for you in this reading. I will simply start with the first message coming through for this month of August. And what is coming through is that there is energy for potential, but I see that in a way that this potential is very untapped. So whether you're not fully expressing what you want to express, or you are tippy-toeing around an idea that you want to step into, I feel there is energy of untapped potential and things that you know you are capable of and you know you want to do, but something is still holding you back from actually doing them, or you're almost like waiting for the perfect moment to finally lock in and to give it your all and to be committed to that vision that you may have. What's coming through is not that there's a lack of ideas or a lack of visions. It's more like you are not fully trusting your own potential, and you see a lot of people in the outside world doing what you want to do or some version of what you would like to do, but you feel like you cannot fully do that for some reason. So you make a difference between other people and you. When I feel into it, the reasons why you may do that are not huge. Like, it's small things. It can be not feeling fully confident in your body, not feeling fully confident in your expression as a spiritual guide or as a leader or on social media. So there is this energy of you wanting to step into a position of spiritual leadership, or even just sharing content online and seeing where that leads you, because you feel there is that potential here, and it's not just coming from an ego desire, it's coming from a soul perspective, like you're meant to share a message, but you don't see your potential, or you're afraid of fulfilling that potential and tapping into it, because that would mean that you would have to lock in and you would have to commit and you would have to stay consistent with what you thought you would stay consistent with, and there is fear around that. So much more than fear of failure, for you it's more like fear of success. You want to do that, you know you're capable of it, and you almost have that feeling of, one day I'm going to do that. Like, when I do that, I will lock in, I will commit, I will do that full on, and I will make that big. You know you have the potential to do that, but you're afraid of actually locking in, because that would mean that your daily life changes, that the way you are visible to others changes, and that you have to stay true to yourself and really commit and follow through. And what is also coming through is that there is some trust issues here, not with anyone else, but with yourself. So you don't fully trust yourself to use your potential and to follow through, because you may have tried it before and you failed, or you may have tried it before and you didn't follow through enough to create any type of momentum. So you don't fully trust yourself anymore to actually do it, and you're afraid of disappointing yourself and wasting your potential. The next message that is coming through is that you need to invite serendipity. Serendipity is a word that has followed me my entire life, like a huge portion of my life. I've been followed by that word. I even have it tattooed on my arm. It says serendipity here. And serendipity is a hard word to explain. It means that you find something that is truly yours and you are meant to, in the way of searching for something else. So, translated to a spiritual leader or a spiritual guide or some type of New Earth visionary like you are, this could mean starting a project, and not that project being the thing that brings you closer to your mission or brings you into self expression, but that project being necessary as a stepping stone to get to your actual mission. So, what this message wants to tell me is that there is a potential for serendipity to happen if you just start. If you just start showing up, start doing what you really want to do, and stop doing what you don't want to do anymore. So, serendipity means that things can happen if you take messy action, if you just allow yourself to be in the chaos of it all, in the not knowing where this leads, and that will then lead to serendipity and to you finding your path in that exploration. If you don't allow yourself to explore things, if you don't allow yourself to fail or to go through trial and error, serendipity has a hard time coming to you, and it's way less likely to actually align with something that changes your life in a positive way or lets you tap into that potential that you feel for yourself, as if you were just okay with starting somewhere from where you are now with what you have now without it feeling perfect. So that message really wants you to step forward, even if there's lack of clarity, even if you're afraid, even if you feel like you might F it up. You cannot really F it up unless you don't start at all. So, whatever it is that is on your heart, start with what you have now from where you are now. And everything else will become a path that builds itself as you're going through those hurdles and as you're figuring out what feels aligned and what may not feel aligned. And then serendipity takes over and will guide you where you need to be. This can happen through getting to know some people that help you. This can be through an opportunity that you didn't see coming, but that wouldn't be possible if you did not take messy action in the first place. Serendipity can come through so many ways into your life. And I really feel in my heart that as you're listening to this, you already know what this is about, what you need to do, what you need to overcome, and also what you need to ignore to actually start. Ignoring naysayers, ignoring your own fears, your own fear of visibility, your own self-doubt. Just take messy action in whatever direction this is true for you, and serendipity will find you. What's also coming through that is kind of connected to that path of you taking messy action is that you should rely on yourself. And that may sound a little sad, but there is this energy coming through of you wanting someone else in that process with you, you wanting some friend or some support system to start things with you, to push through with you, to motivate each other in your goals and all that. And if you have that and if you are surrounded by that level of support, that is beautiful. But when it comes to your own soul mission, don't be afraid to do things on your own. It doesn't mean that you can never work together with other amazing people. It doesn't mean that you can never collaborate or have a project with a friend or anything like that. But when it comes to your actual soul mission, you are the only one actually being able to express that in a way that will resonate with your dream clients or with the social media audience you want to create, with the people you are helping in the world, basically. So that is what you need to do. You need to rely on yourself and not be afraid to do things without anyone joining you in that. I really feel like you may be waiting for someone to take action with you, or you may be waiting for someone to give you permission to start a project, or you're like dragging some people along maybe even, and you are way more invested than they are. If that is the case, because that energy kind of comes through and it feels like it could be true for a lot of you listening to this reading. If that's true, if you feel like you're dragging along a business partner, a friend, someone you do a project with, or someone you do social media with, or want to step into a spiritual mission with, if you feel like you're dragging them along and you are way more invested than they are, that is your sign to let go of that connection in that context and fly solo and do it yourself, because that will propel you forward and that will actually align you with what you came here to do. As I'm speaking about this, I also get the information that I should add that this also goes for your personal life. So not just in business relations or in mission related stuff, even in your personal life, if there is someone who is not supporting you, who you feel like you have to tiptoe around or walk on eggshells with, this is your permission slip to not be as invested as you are now in that relationship, and that you should feel more free of that connection. It doesn't mean that you have to cut them off, but the energy that is coming through really wants you to know that you can let go a little and that you can be okay with things getting more loose, things not being as close as it was before, and not forcing anything and not changing in that position of you tiptoeing around someone, or you feeling like you have to perform or be more interesting or put on a mask for someone to stay interested in you or stay in your life or stay relatable to someone else. This is also coming through, and this has nothing to do with mission. This is a very, very personal message that wants to come through. There are people in your life currently where you feel like you cannot be yourself with. Don't be too attached to that connection. It will either become closer again when you pull back a little, or it will become less close, and you have to become okay with that, because it doesn't serve you to change yourself, to warp yourself into a person that you not truly are, just to keep that connection going. This next message that comes through is very collective. So even though I'm speaking to the spiritual leaders and the New Earth visionaries with my readings, this feels very collective, and it feels like the collective has to develop some level of resilience, as if we didn't do that for the last couple of years, right? So it's nothing really new, but there is a new energy coming in August where people who are resilient will have a much less struggly time, and people who are very much still focused on what's on the news and what you should do and what you should think, and trusting every source that is said to be trusted, they might struggle. And the leaders and the visionaries and the people who are aware of these dynamics, they are the ones who keep up the energy and keep the grid going, as we are tapping into our own resilience and into that ability to rise above the turbulence and to rise above the chaos and to kind of lean back and enjoy the show. Enjoying is a little bit of a harsh word here, but you get what I mean. Like, be okay with things getting turbulent in the collective, and try as much as you can, unless you are personally affected, try as much as you can to stay a resilient stream of consciousness and stream of energy in the collective, because that's what the collective desperately needs when it is in chaos. What is coming through very strongly with this next piece of information is that you need to trust your intuition. In August, either in your personal life or in the collective, there is the potential for something to come up, and it feels way more collective than it does personal. There is the potential of something coming up that will test you and test if you truly trust your own intuition, because your intuition will be screaming at you the exact opposite of what you are meant to do, following the mainstream or following what is being said. So I have no information about what this could be, and it doesn't feel like a huge, huge thing, but it feels like something that is definitely talked about and something that you need to be strong in yourself with to not follow with the mainstream and to trust if that is really what you believe about the situation or what you feel called to. So yeah, the main message is not do this or do that, but trust your intuition. And if it's screaming at you, it's right. Like, don't let any external source make that feeling less strong or hinder you in trusting your own intuition. Because when it's screaming at you, it wants to tell you something. And from a spiritual perspective, your intuition is nothing else but your cosmic self speaking to you. So basically, your emotions and your intuition are the two languages that your cosmic self, so your multidimensional aspects, can speak to you. They are not speaking to you through hearing words in your mind. I mean, it can happen if your clair senses are active and if you're open for this, but for most people, your cosmic self speaks through your intuition and through your emotions. Most people are disconnected from their emotions, though, and they don't trust and don't listen to their intuition, or they cannot even hear it or feel it. So when you feel your intuition talking to you and you guiding yourself through intuition into a certain direction, make sure to trust that. I really feel like this is the last message coming through. These were like rapid channeled messages. It was pretty quick today. The last one that wants to come through is about letting go, and it kind of connects to what I've said before. When there's a connection in your life or a relationship that doesn't fulfill you anymore, or that feels like is not fully accepting you for who you are, that is ready to be let go. But also collectively, I feel like there is a theme of letting go of old beliefs, of old structures, of old things that used to be a solid pillar of society. So I feel like there is something happening in August or something starting to roll out, or I don't know. I can't really tap into it how big it will become or if it's really that prominent already in August, but there will be some changes in how people view certain foundational things in society. And this may not be as relevant for you if you're aware and awake and spiritually advanced, but for a lot of people in the collective, it will be an initiation and they need to learn to let go of things they thought would be a solid or they thought would be trustworthy. And why this is coming through is not because you will struggle with that a lot. I feel like the people listening to this podcast already know these things and already have let go internally of whatever that is and of whatever structure is questioned or whatever it will be. But your task in this whole thing is to be, again, this frequency that holds it all up in your immediate surroundings, so maybe in your family, in your friend group, and also if you share online, if you are in a leader position and you have a voice and speak your truth and are visible to others in that role, there may be something that you need to let go of in a different way. So maybe some people will disagree with you or will question whether you are right or wrong, and a lot of new people will come and find your message or find your content, and they are in that process of questioning whatever is being questioned in starting in August, and they may find you who already talks about this, and they may have resistance or may talk against you. So what your role in this is to stay resilient and to let go of wanting to please everyone and wanting to have everyone's approval for your message. This also is like a full circle moment from the first message this reading had with the potential. So once you tap into that I don't give a fuck energy and you just share your message and you don't care how people like it and how many people resonate with it and how many don't, that is when you tap into your true power, and that is when the people who resonate with you will find you, or more of them will find you, because you are, from a frequency standpoint, you are fully in that expression, and that will magnetize people to you who agree with you and who resonate with you and who agree with your message and your truth. But that will also trigger those people who are in the process of finding their own truth. So they may be triggered by you and they may resist what you have to say. And if you're a creator, if you publish some type of content, August is a potential month to have some sort of backlash or have some sort of traffic on your profiles because of what you already teach, because it will reach not only your target audience, but people who are in this state of not knowing, not trusting, redirection, all this. So if you're a creator, there may be some potential traffic and engagement on your content that you may not like. And the message that wants to come through is to stay resilient in that, which we talked about in the beginning, and to let go of that need to please everyone or to be everyone's darling, and to just be okay with having people wonder what you talk about or with them disagreeing with you. As always, I hope you learned something new, and I hope this reading resonated with you and you found a couple of messages that gave you some answers to your questions. I love, love, love doing these monthly energy updates, and you seem to be enjoying these as well. These are always the most listened to and the most watched podcast episodes, so I love doing these, and I love that they resonate so much with you. If you haven't done that already, you can join the Cosmic Awakening School. It's my free community. We can connect there. We can talk about all the things. There are currently, I think, a little less than 1,000 people in there. So make sure to join and to stay in touch with me. We have calls, we have additional free resources. I'm in there as well. You can ask questions, all the things. So make sure to check it out. I will link it in the show notes. And that being said, I hope you had a blast listening to this reading or watching this reading. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you next week for a brand new episode. Until then, have a beautiful time. Bye bye.